saw that some your stuff came in, right? I saw the TV was damaged.
A bunch of it. Yeah, so TV came in, that was damaged, so I went nuts and was like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna go replace this. So I bought a new TV and a Switch to go with it.
Nice.
I bought a Sonos soundbar. That's
Cool.
And dartboard back there, weights, yoga mat. It's coming together.
Damn, it's nice.
Yeah, it's a decent space, especially since we're not going to be using as an actual garage. So
What Switch games did you get?
I bought Mario Kart, Zelda, Breath of the Wild, Ultimate Smash, and Bowser's Fury.
Nice. I have been replaying Breath of the Wild right now. Like I made it a long way in my Wii U, but I refuse to go back to my Wii U. So I'm rebeating it. I beat my first dungeon.
I have never finished a Zelda game. So
Really?
this is gonna be my quest. My quest is to finish the Zelda Quest.
I usually finish. I think I finished all of them until I think one of the only ones I didn't finish was Breath of the Wild and Skyward Sword.
Okay.
Even the portable ones I used to beat. I haven't beaten A Link Between Worlds, I guess. Barely played it.
Oh, Link Between Worlds is so good.
Or like I used to beat the Game Boy Advance ones, even the 2 ones like Oracle of Ages and Seasons.
Those were Game Boy Color.
Whatever. You're right though, because I beat them this way.
Yeah, those were so good. Those were too good. Those are better than they deserve to be. Because it was like I remember they were produced by Capcom.
Yeah.
And it was just like, they're actually letting Zelda outside of Nintendo proper's hands, and they did it. They knocked it out of the park. It was so good.
Wasn't Minish Cap one of those two?
I didn't beat Minish Cap. That was one of those also.
It was also Capcom, I think.
I didn't beat the weird ones on. I didn't even own both the weird ones on DS.
Four Swords.
One where you like.
Is that what that was? Okay, that's what I was about to say.
Oh, no. He's talking about Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks.
Yeah.
No. I was going to ask another question because there were a couple that I remember. Like I thought Minish Cap and Four Swords was maybe a Capcom joint.
I think Four Swords was.
Okay.
I think so. I think you're right.
All right. Interesting.
I saw that.
So yeah.
So bring that up.
Man,
you just selected an extra news story I was going to bring up.
What's the news story? What is it?
We'll start with it. It's,
Wait, I want to talk more about Zelda. What are you guys talking about?
How was it?
Start out.
That's totally a topic if it's on the show. I've been playing Breath of the Wild because I'll let him.
Yeah, so it started out because Jammer, you never go to Instagram anymore. I got a bunch of my stuff in
anymore.
And my
I never
TV.
did.
You were up. I saw you a couple of times. You were there. You're a little bit, very small bit.
For a hot second.
A bunch of my stuff came in broke, and so one of them was my television. And so you know how you spend a bunch of money to get over grief. So I went and bought a new TV. I bought a bigger TV, a Switch, and a sound bar to go with all of it. And he was asking me what games I got for the Switch. So I got Breath of the Wild, Smash, Bowser's Fury, and Mario Kart.
And I was telling him I just got, if you looked at my account, Jammer, recently, I put like 10 hours into Breath of the Wild in the last 3 days.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's so good. I'm trying to think here what other type of game there is that's fucking kills it. There's so many good games on the Switch. So many. Bowser's Fury is another solid one.
Did Hades come out for that yet?
I think
for the
so.
Switch?
I think so. I'm not a roguelike player, so I don't dabble.
I'm trying to resist because I've played Transistor on iOS on my phone and it was amazing. And so I really am just trying to hold out until they put Hades on the phone. I know, sacrilege, but like to travel with Transistor saved my life. Not
travel
literally,
with Switch,
but actually. No, so
phone.
I've got
I'm saying
this
if
thing
it's on
called
Switch, you can travel with that.
Yes, but I have this thing called a backbone and it's amazing. And it's you just plug your phone into this thing and it basically turns it into a Switch. And I love the hell out of it. I play Call of Duty, Transistor, a bunch of Xbox games. So the killer app for it for me was the fact that Xbox has their xCloud gaming service, and you can plug this into it and play like full-grown Xbox games on your iPhone, which is
full-grown, homebred, full-grown Xbox games.
Yeah, so like I'm playing Halo on this thing, and it's like ridiculous. So that game Ascent that everybody's talking about.
Halo. I want the first Halo on the Switch. It's not going to happen ever, but I want it. I just thought about it the second.
You could play it on your phone though. That's exactly my. Yes, that's.
I don't.
It's literally what I was just telling you.
I don't like playing on this thing.
How? But you don't. So that's what I'm saying. You get this controller, so it's external controls, and you just do. You're literally just. So you want it on the Switch.
Yeah.
What is the difference between the thing that you're saying you
want? The difference is one comes fully baked and ready to play. The other one I have to fuck around with.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do. I have to fucking connect it to this.
No, it's. I wish I could go upstairs and get
a fucking controller.
It is so the same work that you have to do to put the Joy-Cons on the Nintendo Switch. There is less work in this.
Unbelievable. You're full of shit.
Whatever.
You're getting paid by Big Game to push this agenda.
I'll send you a picture of it. I mean, it's like I should do a review of this thing because I love it. It's literally like. So it's a device that kind of looks like this. So I'm putting my hands together and then you pull it apart and it does this. You put the controller in that space and then it retracts. And then that's it. It connects to the lightning port and then you're done. That's literally it.
It's amazing. What happens if I have a case? What then?
You just take the case off. That's it.
No, can't do it.
Why?
Can't do it.
Why? What's going on? What's going on, Butterfingers? What's going on, Butterfingers?
How much did that controller cost?
99.
Oh, gross. That's why I don't want to do it. It's so much money.
What are you talking about? How much is a controller for any system?
Like 60?
80
okay.
For these Joy-Cons.
Sounds like we're in the ballpark. And what you get with this is the software that makes it run. So it's not just the hardware. They've created a gaming hub. So there's a button on it. You push the button and it takes you to this gaming hub and you can see all of the games that you have on your system and launch from there. And it has a social aspect to it too. So I've got 2 other people that have it.
I hate
and
people.
So, but I love my friends. I hate people, yes, but I love my friends. And
Fair
so
enough.
From this, I can just say, hey, let's join a party. And we can be in party chat from this software and play Call of Duty together. It's nuts.
That sounds pretty fun, actually.
I need to go out and do a sponsor.
I think you sold me. I came out ready to sort of just unabashedly hate it for no good reason, just to be contrary, but I think you have sold me.
I really want to do a review. Like I would like to, I'm gonna try and do like a no kidding review of this thing because while I was traveling, I haven't had my game consoles and this has been like the thing that has carried me through. So I've got, like I said, Call of Duty, I've got Bully on there from Rockstar, I've got the Xbox app, I've got a bunch of other stuff and it's fun. Brawlhalla, so I need that Smash Brothers itch, so I play that on this thing. It's amazing.
Yeah, you can scratch that actual Smash Brothers itch with your Switch.
I can smash that actual itch.
Yep, you could scratch that actual Smash itch. Smash that itch.
I think there might be a salve for that. Maybe an antibiotic. We'll see. But people wouldn't take it anyway. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Oh God.
Matter.
I've actually become so misanthropic lately because of fucking people. Because all the shit about the planet. I'm like, we can't even save ourselves, let alone the goddamn planet.
Well, it's supposed to be a symbiotic thing, right? Like we saving the planet is a less selfish way of saying let's save ourselves.
Which is a good segue into Let There Be
Captain
Carnage
Planet
has been delayed.
Oh, has it?
What?
Well, it got the last date it had was September. They actually gave it a date after the trailer today of October 15th. But
so wait, let me ask you a question. So this is because of anti-vaxxers?
Yeah, what's the connection?
That's the two ways it connects. And
okay, gotcha.
Also symbiotic. But and they're very seriously considering January. Which would mean they'd probably also push. Yeah, they're watching. I feel like it sounds like from a lot of people I've just who are insinuating that
I bet you they're like
Shang-Chi is being looked at very carefully.
I mean,
I bet you they're like if fucking James Gunn can't succeed in this climate, what chance does fucking Venom have?
So I think that makes sense, right? Like I've heard that, I'm hearing people are telling me that when it gets cold, viruses die. That's what I'm hearing. That's what people are saying.
Are you shitting me?
Dude,
you're fucking kidding, right?
That's what the president told me.
No, he said
I'm hearing. Are you
talking about Trump or are you talking about
Biden? No. But Variety itself was saying they had the story about the delay that during surveys, consumers willing to go to the movie theaters dropped 14%. since
which is so weird. Which is a great segue into the other story, because but for the podcast, I wasn't going to see Venom anyway. This isn't a story that I sent you guys, but I think the narrative around the Suicide Squad is fascinating. Like if you look at the headlines, people are saying that it flopped. Let me see if I can pull up a couple for you guys. So Deadline, the Suicide Squad. Actually, hold on. That wasn't the one. What was the one? Variety. Why the Suicide Squad stumbled at the box office. Mashable, Suicide Squad failed at the box office. Anti-vaxxers don't allow the blame. Den of Geek. Does the Suicide Squad box office hurt the future of R-rated superhero films? These are some hot fucking takes.
These people are like acting like the pandemic isn't happening.
Screen Rant. Will Smith magic. How no Deadshot hurt the Suicide Squad.
What? Get the fuck out of here. I have not met a single person who doesn't like Idris Elba. Not a single person. That article is bullshit.
You know what's funny? A year from now, you're gonna hate him because you're gonna be like, you know what? I think I've just hit saturation.
Too much Idris Elba. Too much Idris Elba.
Elba saturation.
Never. No, but oh well. What were we talking about before Idris Elba? Oh no! I
was talking about anti-vaxxers in the pandemic. Let's hear it. They laid it out.
Someone laid it out perfectly.
Is that the new Strangers on the Train? Strangers on a Train. Anti-vaxxers in a pandemic.
Yep.
What's the Strangers on a Train? I've never heard this. Is this like the ship of Theseus?
It's a Hitchcock movie. It's a Hitchcock movie.
Oh, okay.
It's basically about these two strangers who meet on a train and they have their own problems with, I think, their spouses, I forget. And they basically decide they're going to kill each other's respective spouses. And then because they don't know each other, they can't really be pinned to each other.
But one guy's really into it, who plays Marcus Brody later, and the other guy's not too sure. And Marcus Brody
I've seen this, and I just did not know that was the name of it. That's really weird.
There was almost a Fincher remake called Strangers, starring Ben Affleck, where like he was getting on a private jet back home, and he invited another person to join him because he's an actor, and the actor's really
David Fincher. David Fincher needs to remake it.
Yeah, that was on the table at one time.
Oh, was it?
It was literally like, and then it just died like so many.
Oh yeah, I wrote about that.
Yeah, it was Strangers.
Yeah,
it
wasn't who was writing that? Was that
I remember that Ben Affleck was going to star in it for Fincher because it was right after.
I remember that. Yeah, that would have been so good.
So wait, before we get too far away from the Suicide Squad, I wanted to tie another thing in there.
Oh yeah, I wanted to say my 3 points
about Venom.
Gillian Flynn.
No, I'm on Suicide Squad.
Gillian Flynn, who wrote Gone Girl, was going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to tie in. So there was another story that Jammer sent me, and it was about Gotham City Sirens. And so what I do think is a valid question is that still going to happen? And how tied to the pandemic is that going to be? So there was a Hollywood Reporter article that came out, and it said there have been rumblings of Gotham City Sirens since the Suicide Squad 2016. David Ayer was originally set to do it, and after Birds of Prey and the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn, there was online buzz about Kathy Yan taking on the project. But Gunn may be the one to actually bring it to fruition. In the same chat with THR, Gunn said that he felt he had a knack for writing Harley Quinn and that Margot Robbie was his favorite actress. I wonder how Palm feels about that. Like, I watched Suicide Squad again last night, and you could see her dancing in that one camera.
Suicide Squad?
Yeah. It's all the same thing. 2016 doesn't exist. Unless I say 2016, it's Suicide Squad. Yeah.
Okay, so who dancing what?
Palm, Mantis from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, Palm Clementieff.
See, I don't know how to pronounce it. I didn't want your name, Wrath. So I was just going to say.
No, it's fun. I don't even know how to pronounce it, but it just looks fun to pronounce. Like either it's Clementieff or Clementieff. I don't know which one it is. It's probably neither, but it's a cool, fun sounding name.
It is. But she had this look on her face like, I'm upset that James Gunn likes Margot Robbie better than me. Anyway, so Margot Robbie was his favorite actress to work with, and she expressed similar enthusiasm for Gunn at the premiere. Another team up between the two seems like the natural answer. And again, that's from Hollywood. So I'm going to kick it over to Jammer, tying all those things together. How do you feel? Like, what's going on with you and your anti-vaxxers crowd?
I'm all out of faith. This is how I feel. I cold and I am shamed, lying naked on the floor.
Copyright
music. Yeah, I was just about to say,
It doesn't matter if it's on a podcast. If it's on YouTube, it does, but it's not on YouTube. Here's the point. I'm wide awake and Now I see. I forgot the lyrics.
Shut
The perfect
up.
side. I'm torn. Is what it comes down to. I am torn.
You're torn. All right, let's hear it. Why are you torn?
I'm torn because it took me a long time to get there, but because I think the idea of him doing a Harley Quinn story is good, but also this is very much a movie that probably should be helmed by a female, kind of like Birds of Prey, and it just seems like it's taken away that opportunity from somebody. So on one hand, I like
somebody like specifically Kathy Yan.
Yeah, that's what
or anyone else, or someone else, even if it's not Kathy Yan, somebody else. This not, you can't say there's not talent who can do it. But maybe here's the way you can maybe go around it. Jamuel Gunn, sir, if you're listening, you can be a co-writer with Kathy Yan on the film, and then she could direct it.
I saw an interesting rant on Twitter where a woman was saying that she was upset that Kathy Yan wasn't getting any of the credit for what she did with Birds of Prey.
I saw that
and the
too.
tonal shift.
I saw it too.
I thought it was interesting, but I think my take on that clip was I think that this movie is far and away better than Birds of Prey. And what I started to wonder was how much it is. I wondered how much of that was due to the studio, because I got the impression watching this movie, The Suicide Squad, that the studio let James Gunn do what he wanted to do. And I got the impression from Birds of Prey that while Kathy Yan was able to do a lot, I still felt like that was a Warner Brothers studio joint, that they had a lot of input.
She, like other Warner Brothers directors, she's never said she has her own cut, but she said there's a lot of stuff that the studio cut. No one's asking for her cut, sexist fanboys, but that's a joke, but seriously. It's not Joker.
I'm also not asking for a cut because I like the cut that exists, but I'm open for more.
It's a little clunky. That's why I would put it behind the Suicide Squad.
Fair.
But belly back to the Suicide Squad though, and tying into this, I definitely think the movie will happen. I don't think, because Warner Brothers knows the same things we do, and I think it's more likely to happen than a Suicide Squad 2. Because someone was saying, yes, the pandemic, yes, R-rated movie. But a lot of people, and I agree with this, the name, I think, kept a lot of people away. I don't think they'll do another Suicide Squad. I think they would rather go the Gotham City Sirens route. And then, on your poster, Poison Ivy, the part you love from the Suicide Squad and Birds of Prey and the other Suicide Squad, even if you only saw the first Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're both right. I know people have specifically said that the name.
Like a rumor that Scarlett Johansson is being courted by DC. People are like, I want Scarlett Johansson as Poison Ivy.
Nope, fuck off.
I take that.
I love how DC always just like, oh, come on over here. We have cake. Come here. Come to our studio. We promise we won't interfere. We're not gonna. We're not evil.
Is there going to be like a poaching
Disney.
clause? Is there a poaching clause in the contract?
The day there's a freaking poaching clause is the day that we've officially reverted back to the 1950s.
I feel like we're getting there. It's going to happen.
I think you're right, because things have never been as studio driven as they are today. Or let me try that again. Since the 50s.
Yeah. So I think you're both right. I think that the name really does hurt the movie. I know people that didn't want to see it or had perceptions of this movie prior to it even coming out based on the 2016 version of this movie. And then Jammer, what you said about Gunn writing this. Yeah, his specific comment is, I feel like I have a knack for writing her. Go for it.
Do it. Write the fuck out of Harley Quinn.
Yeah. So,
and I think he has he's really good, and like he's able to write women in a respectful way, and as we saw, kind of direct them in a respectful way. Like, because obviously it's just been talked about to death. David Ayer definitely gave sort of a male gaze perspective on it that was pulled back in Birds of Prey, and somehow Gunn did a really good job of like not bringing that back in. It's very clear that he like has nothing but respect for actors of all sexes and genders and all that. So it's great to see, but still, I don't want to take that opportunity away from a female director when there's a female property.
Points of the person we were talking about, the ranting person, was that she said even if Gunn hadn't seen it, Margot Robbie is like the Bruce Willis of the Die Hard franchise, where she's also producer and gets to make tons of decisions. So if anything, she could have guided Suicide Squad style to match. Like the flower scene and stuff feels like something out of Birds of Prey more, and she could have kind of pushed for that continuation of character and style.
She's a herald of the Harley Quinn mythology.
Indeed.
Herald's not the right word. Arbiter.
So I think the narratives suck. It's stupid, and the idea that people are behaving like we're not in the middle of a pandemic, and that statistic that Nick read out is absolutely
so
right.
Stupid. It is awful. Like people, like stop. We're talking about it. They win. They've won. Thanks, Jonesy. They've won because you brought them up.
I mean, we're literally on a show where we talk about it. Like that's what this is. This is the thing.
But yeah, that's the thing. So it's just annoying that like by bringing it up, you give it power, but it's stupid. It's just like, let's be really fucking obtuse about the current circumstances of the world and just ask like, can you believe it didn't break $1.5 billion at the box office? I'm like, yes, I can. Like, especially when you have the Delta variant and the Lambda variant fucking running around causing havoc, like Nick Dahl on a Breaking Geek Radio the podcast episode. And it's just like, it just ruins everything. I mean, like it's a thing.
That's not fair. That's not fair. Nick Dahl is harmless. I mean, he's not harmless. He's killed 27 children, but he's agreed to do this podcast, and that's what really matters.
Someone did a meme of replacing a few pictures of the Cat in the Hat from the live action movie with Weasel.
Oh
Weasel's
God.
like standing behind the kids, and I'm like, 27 kids.
Fucking
Weasel. He doesn't have a hat or anything, but it's still terrifying.
I'm sorry. I love this movie. I watched it again last night.
I watched it.
I haven't watched it again. I want to watch it again. I haven't done it yet. I'm probably going to watch it again this weekend.
Yeah. So good. So good. You guys ready to move on?
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on. Let's talk about other things. Let's move on to Idris Elba in Not the Suicide Squad. So.
What? Oh, best fucking reveal ever. I fucking loved it. It was just.
It was.
Boom. Perfect.
Why don't you explain it? Why don't you explain
Nick Dalling it. You're jumping ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Jump in there. Come on, Captain Excitement. Go ahead.
Beast he is. Just, I feel like doing right now. Oh, you know what I feel like doing right now? I feel like just taking my dick and just putting it on Twitter for everyone to see. So what I did was I just tweeted a fucking photo of Knuckles, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I ruined it. But the point is that it was very much like a flex where he just did some fucking vague ass quote, a picture of Knuckles' his fist. And
he just said knock, knock.
Yeah, said knock, knock. That was it. He said knock, knock. That was the tweet. And it was amazing because it was a perfect, like the people who were marketing that movie at Paramount, they were like, the Suicide Squad is coming out. Let's see how it does. And while it underperformed, it was very well received by everybody. And everyone was super excited about Idris Elba again. Well, not that they weren't ever before, but they were amped up. They were primed for this. And knock, knock with the fucking Knuckles, the iconic Knuckles. And you got me. You got me.
Here's what's happened. I want you to remember this moment. I want you to remember the excitement with which you're talking about this. Because remember, we're coming off of a story, off of a movie that we've already reviewed, talking about Idris Elba. We're probably going to do his cowboy movie later this year to review it for the podcast. I just want you to remember this moment. Movie. Yeah, so there's one with him, Regina King, and a whole shit ton of other folks. Yeah, looks amazing. And I'm pitching it as probably we're going to review it for the podcast. But I'm just saying, you're like, I don't know anybody that doesn't like him. You're gonna hit that Elba saturation we were talking about earlier. I'm just calling.
It's like the Keanu-sans. Well, actually, I did take Keanu-sans saturation.
That's right. See,
was the moment when he hit too much saturation was he was in that one Netflix movie?
Knock Knock.
When was it? No.
Oh.
What? No. Yeah, Keanu Reeves. He
Netflix.
That one movie with Randall Park, where he is always be my maybe.
Yeah.
Never even heard of that one.
It's this romantic comedy where it's about these best friends grew up and they were like always like maybe will they won't they, but they never did. They were just friends, and then the years pass, they come back and they start to fall in love again. But there's this scene where out of nowhere I forget what they call the actual, they were going on a double date, and I think her date is Keanu Reeves, like literally Keanu Reeves, and he is acting like a complete douchebag the entire time, and it's amazing. You should watch it. I think you like that scene.
You know what's funny? He has played that spoiler role before. I don't know if you remember the movie with him and Diane Keaton from like years and years ago, where she goes on a date and it ends up that he is her date. And it's not Keanu Reeves, but he is somebody else. I think he plays like a doctor. It's either, I thought it was.
I remember the trailer for that movie. I've seen the trailer where he's a doctor.
Mm-hmm. I remember.
I never saw the movie.
Doctor.
Yeah, I remember the trailer. I never saw the movie.
You know, it's funny that he was actually playing to type, right? Because now we know that he is a guy who likes either age appropriate or women that are older than him. So I think that's funny. But anyway,
What was
Elba
the story?
saturation.
Oh, yeah, Knuckles.
Elba saturation. So Knuckles is going to join up with Dr. Robotnik to take down Sonic. This is going to be in,
Is that the plot?
What? Yeah.
Oh,
I'll just make up stuff. Well, that's how it starts, though. They start out as enemies, then they become frenemies, then they become genuine friends.
Oh, Batman v Superman.
No. I think a closer one is Vegeta and Goku.
Vegeta?
I think it's a closer one.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. I like that one. It's over 9,000, baby.
Dragon Ball
all
Z.
Those rings.
Dragon Ball Z. So let me clue you in, Nick. I'll give you a little Dragon Ball Z history. So at the
you could just tell me the Sonic and Knuckles history.
So Dragon Ball Z, there was this Saiyan that came to Earth. It's like an alien race, and he was killed. And basically, as he was dying, he says, "I've been broadcasting this the entire time. There are two Saiyans who are going to come, and they're even stronger than I am." And he fucks off and dies.
Was that Raditz?
That was Raditz. And then they have to train for a year because these guys heard the transmission, heard about these Dragon Balls that you can make a wish with. They're like, "Oh, fuck you, we want a wish." So they're on their way, and it takes them, I think, a year. I don't remember. So the Z Fighters spent a year training, and Vegeta and another guy are there. Basically, he tries to kill everybody and then escaped with his life. And then they are on a mission to get other Dragon Balls on another planet. And then he is basically with them going up against someone else. And then over time, over like the course of 150 episodes, he finally becomes good. It's very good. It's very good, Nick Dahl. It's great storytelling.
It's very good.
It's not.
And I'll tell you what, don't
episodes?
go. I mean, there's a lot of space training.
But it's like
right?
it's like three arcs. It's like three sagas. It's like the Frieza saga and the Android saga and the Majin Buu saga. And literally, it's a lot of story. Because even in Majin Buu, he basically was fighting against his being good and basically was trying to embrace his evil side. He was
friends by the time the Android saga
he was basically trying to be. He was basically Kylo Ren at that point, though, because he was trying to like embrace the dark side.
They were friends by the Android saga, though, because remember, Trunks appeared, so they were friends.
Kyle tries to find ones he think I'd be interested in, rather than just forcing his favorites on me. He showed me a trailer.
We don't try and force any on you.
One.
I try to force One Piece and then Madoka, and that's it.
But you're always like, check out this one. It's like, oh, they're in high school again, Jammer.
I don't think he said watch Dragon Ball Z. He was like, this is what happens. Just to have context and understand.
All I know is that
I never.
Kyle showed me one that's actually a water polo based one, which I'm still not gonna watch, but it's like only second time in my life I've seen water polo animated.
What's it called?
Always fun. Yeah, the one you just said, Remain or whatever. It looks like too much.
I definitely said free.
Oh, Remain. It's called. I thought you said Free May. I don't know. Remain.
Free anime. I don't know. I think that's when I started to kind of fall out of anime.
Have you seen Remain?
No,
Jammer? No.
I have not.
Have you guys seen Bubble Service? Or no, not Nick. Jammer, have you seen Bubble Service?
It is free. I think it's free. It's water. I definitely type in free anime and I get a bunch of illegal streaming anime sites. I probably should have seen that coming.
Yeah.
What'd you say, Jonesy?
It bubbles up the
it bubbles up like soda pop.
Yeah. Have you seen that yet?
No, but it looks cool.
It's cute. You should watch it. I think you'd like it.
I will. I will. Ooh,
but
there's also this other one on I recommend this to you, Jonesy.
Which one?
Keep Your Hands Off Azukin. It's on HBO Max.
That's a very odd title. I will watch it today.
So it's about these high school girls who are
magical girls.
Learning.
Are they magical?
They are not.
I'm out.
One of them likes drawing like worlds. One of them likes drawing actual human animation, and one of them is basically a gangster type person who acts as their producer, and they just start making animation for the school.
But it's good. You like it?
Yes, it is good.
Can you drop the name of it in the chat? Not a trailer. I'll just, you know what? I feel like anime trailers do nothing for me.
They're awful. They're the worst. I think they need to rethink the way they do marketing over there because it's the worst. It's the worst.
Did I tell you I watched Mugen Train?
What?
The Demon Slayer movie?
I never watched it.
No, I'm telling you, I watched.
Oh, yeah, you brought it up last week. Yes.
Okay, never mind. Time is moving in a very weird, timey-wimey thing. But let's get back to the news before you lose Nick Dahl permanently. So yeah, Idris Elba, that's the plot of that film.
Excellent.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be, I like it only because his voice is very different than how Knuckles has been portrayed, or at least what I remember him being portrayed as. So
yeah, I don't think I've ever heard his voice before in anything because I was never into Sonic
Adventure.
And no, that's a lie. I wasn't a Sonic Adventure. I played the fuck out of that in 2. I don't remember.
Like either.
There you go. I don't remember. That's what it is. I just don't remember.
Okay. So sort of about Suicide Squad, but not really. But tying it back into
how was my Idris Elba accent, by the way? Was
terrible. It was awful.
Oh,
I was. So the thing was, I wasn't going to mention it. I wasn't going to bring it. I was just going to let you roll with it. But now you've brought it up again. It wasn't particularly good. And
damn it.
You know,
I was very proud of it.
Yeah, you know me. I like your accents. That one wasn't good. That one's good. But anyway, moving on to accents that are good. Taika Waititi has his Star Wars story locked down. So he was talking to, I forgot what outlet he was talking to, Wired. He was having a conversation with Wired, and he's like, hey, we've got a story. I'm really excited about it because it feels very me. I tend to go down that little sincerity alleyway in my films. I do like to fool the viewer into thinking, ha, it's this. And then them going, damn it, you made me feel something. So.
Oh, no. Star Wars fans are going to hate that. I'm actually not kidding. Star Wars fans hate that shit.
Well, he said you made me feel something. I think there's a difference between you made me feel something and I have subverted your expectations, right?
They also said the
I guess
part,
so.
didn't he? Oh, he's like, that's how I trick you.
Yeah, I used the word subvert. He didn't use the word subvert.
I always remember this fun interview with Taika Waititi where someone asked him if he'd ever do a straight drama film.
Yeah.
And then he was kind of waffling. He's like, yeah, I think I probably would. And then he starts talking. And then in the middle of it, he's just like, no, I think I just talked myself out of it. I don't think I would want to do a straight drama film. I just thought it was funny. You see his like train of thought is going from one tangent to the other. And it's just like, nah, I just decided this moment I'm not going to do a full-on drama, which is funny because that was right before Jojo Rabbit came out. And I thought that was basically a full-on drama.
It's dark, but it's not a full-on drama. It's hilarious.
I think it's a full-on drama because for me, I remember watching it for the first 15 to 20 minutes being like, these are like easy Hitler jokes. Like, this is something I could just come up with. It's not clever. It's not particularly great. But then like the actual stuff happens and I'm like, oh, fuck. And then it becomes less funny.
So he made you feel something?
Yep. He did exactly what he did the thing. Exactly what it was. He did the thing. And I'm okay with it. I like that. I like surprise feels.
I think this will be interesting because he's writing this with the co-writer of 1917 and Penny Dreadful. So I think whatever this project turns out to be, it's going to be kind of nuts. I think it's going to be called What We Do in the Shadows of the Empire. So,
I like that joke.
Yeah.
Basically, he's going to create, the Star Trek Lower Decks, except mockumentary style of the Empire Lower Decks people.
So you should do. His episode is the one that has that conversation.
But is there a Lower Decks of the Stormtroopers? Aren't they all just that?
No, that's why I think you do. I think it'd be funny to see, and it would be a TV show, not a movie, but like each episode's a different time period, and it's just two stormtroopers like at an important location, just not even doing their job, just walking around, and then boom, they explode. That's our episode, and then it cuts to Empire Strikes Back. And
I think it's hard.
Stormtroopers.
It's hard to have a Lower Decks of Star Wars because the conceit is with Star Trek, the Lower Decks are not the Janeways or the Ciscos or the Picards or everybody else. Everybody is super competent that you see on every starship and every space station. Stormtroopers are incompetent as fuck. Like the normal dudes, everyone that you see are just terrible. So it's hard to have a Lower Decks of that.
If it exists,
I think you're reading too much into what I said. I think you're assuming that I know anything about the upper decks versus lower decks of Star Trek, which I'm
explaining.
Well, I do,
that was it. That was me explaining. That was me Dragon Ball Z-ing it to you.
Yeah.
And you're neck-dolling by saying like, fuck off.
Yeah. Why are you trying to get me to watch Star Trek? At least get me to like watch something that I like.
Lower Decks.
I said you should watch Star Trek. Well, I have in the past. You've already said no.
I have, and I've enjoyed. Oh no, I just won't because of fucking it's on Paramount Plus. I'm not gonna pay for that shit.
Oh. No means no, Nick Dog.
Literally, if I had Paramount Plus,
I'm right.
If I had Paramount Plus, I probably would watch it. But it's
pretty good.
So I won't.
Season 2 premiere this week.
Yeah, today. Well, yesterday when we record. No, yesterday for you all. Yeah.
Not nearly as cool as Ted Lasso episode 3, which killed it. So good.
Which one was this? This is the one.
It's the one with Sam and his sponsorship.
Oh yeah, that was really good.
Yeah,
I will say I just saw this tweet. Like I was talking about anime. It ties into Bill Lasso, Ted Lasso. Ask Ted Lasso who he voted for. Ask Ted Lasso who he voted for in 2016. That's the tweet.
Yeah,
because he would.
Bled Tasso.
Yeah.
No, I think Tasso would vote vote for somebody.
Tessa would vote for
Yeah.
somebody, but I think maybe Lasso would probably vote Green Party.
Just
maybe.
throw away his vote. Just throw away his vote.
Yeah,
he would throw away his vote.
No, he wouldn't.
Or he'd vote Gary Johnson.
Yeah, he would definitely be if he's not Republican, he would definitely be that other stupid party you're trying to bring up.
The other stupid
the Libertarian Party.
Yeah, the party that pretends to be not Republican, but they're just Republicans.
They're not. They're very much not. I don't know why we're getting into politics. Let's not get into politics.
Let's not get into politics. You don't want to talk about
politics.
Let's
not get into politics.
I was bringing it up as a weapon because you were also bringing up something I hadn't seen. That's what the was there for.
We're going to take a brief segue. Chloe Bennett is out. She has exited the CW's Powerpuff Girls. So this is kind of an interesting one. We talked about this a couple of months ago, where Donald Faison was going to be in the show. We had her in the show, and it was kind of I think we might have been kind of surprised that they were making it, or the fact that she was in it. But anyway, now she's out. I saw somewhere where CW Chairman and CEO Mark Pedowitz reportedly called the pilot a miss. So
yeah, they were going to reshoot it, which is she dropped out before they reshot it.
Yeah,
remember they were going to retool it.
There is no replacement for her as of yet. I'm almost curious whether or not this is going to go forward, but any hard?
I don't think it will.
Yeah,
I think it'll go the way of the Wonder Woman series from like 2012 or 2011, whenever that was. I just think it's in the cards.
Have pointed to the fact that this happens days after a Clark Gregg is in Secret Invasion rumor, and they're hoping it means she quit for Marvel to come back as her Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. character in Secret Invasion.
That'd be exciting.
Probably not, but it would be awesome.
Please don't canonize Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I don't think they're going. I mean, it already is canon, right? Like even if
not really though.
It was no. Even if Feige is saying like, oh, it is no longer canon to the MCU films, there is the multiverse. Exactly. That's so in some respect, it is.
When you know those stupid Legends things they put out or whatever, where it's just like clips of the character to catch you up for the shows. The Peggy Carter one did not include any footage from Agent Carter. It was all MCU footage, which is also telling. Because most of her screen time has been on the TV show and the didn't show. Apparently, it's all from the Captain America films.
So yeah, don't canonize it, because that means I have to go and watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And I already tried the first season, and I know it gets better. But then I even stepped in at some point when it's just people talking in concrete walled rooms. That's what it is, and I hate that. That's what I hate about network TV.
It's a TV show.
Yeah, it's very much like a TV show. I hate standing around in concrete wall sets. Fucking hate it so much.
You know the worst part is
24 growing up.
I feel like everything you say, I can't stop thinking about the Suicide Squad, where he was like, wait, your name is letters? Yeah, all names are letters, dickhead. And you're just like, I hate people talking. Like, yeah, that's all shows, dickhead. Like, what's wrong with you?
Not people talking. People talking in Britain, like in cement wall rooms, where it's just like
realistic government buildings.
Exactly, it's just boring.
No, so they're not realistic because their phones work in them. That's how you know it's bullshit.
The windows are too big. Bullshit.
Their computers work and their phones work in them, not government. So I'm just gonna point that out. Yeah, I don't think the show's gonna go forward. Nick, I'm hoping that you're right that she is dropping out so that she can be in.
But they could. Because you know, with all the rumors about the Marvel, the Netflix shows being canonized, there's no reason to say that they can't canonize Agent Carter and S.H.I.E.L.D. So
yeah,
you know, as much as oh, did you say that? I fucking hear that.
I was like, it's a multiverse. Like they could say.
I didn't say that's not even remotely what I said.
That's what he said to you when you said Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is like, and he's like, it is canon. It's a multiverse. That's what Jonesy already said.
I know. I wasn't saying it's a multiverse. I'm saying that they're bringing in Charlie Cox and company for freaking movie that it has to do with the multiverse. But
I don't know that necessarily. I don't know that necessarily means that the show itself is canon.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Oh, that's a good point.
In fact, I think
I assumed it did.
Charlie Cox.
I assumed it did.
Don't you do this for a living?
No,
not anymore.
Jesus, man, Jesus.
It's amazing. The second I stopped doing this for a living, it's just I started making so much more money. It's crazy.
You just start throwing dollar bills at the screen.
Throwing dollar bills at the screen. No, I can't say that. I can't say for the first time in my life. I don't worry about money anymore, which is nice. So there's that.
It's a weird flex right now.
That's not a flex. That's just You brought up what you do for a living.
You're right. I'm sorry. Not a flex. Take it back.
And if I did flex, it would be very, very disappointing.
Understood.
Anytime I flex on anything, it's disappointing.
Disappointing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to chase that rabbit. I'm going to let that rabbit go.
Okay.
You guys ready to move on?
Penis. What?
Yeah.
Damn it!
We did it!
I was trying to move off your dick before you got to your dick, but apparently, yeah.
Just slipped it in there, you know.
No, he didn't. He slapped me in the face with it as I was trying to walk away. That's exactly what happened.
I wish I could.
I was like, you know what?
I was like,
you know what? I don't want to do this. And you're like, yeah, Fury returns. So, Nia Costa's Marvel film, Ms. Marvels or The Marvels has, I mean, sort of.
I said Ms. Marvel dick, and she's not even a character who has a dick, but that's
I think she can grow things though.
I'm steadfast trying to move away from penises. The Marvels. My point is,
she has the embiggen ability. Embiggen.
Well, she doesn't have a dick.
I know that, but I'm saying that's where your mind went to. It went to the fact that she has abilities to embiggen things, which is why you said it.
Yes.
I was defending you. I was saying but he doesn't grow, he stretches. Not quite the same thing.
That's true. I've heard her powers got nerfed for the.
I mean,
it's like a gauntlet.
You have to have somewhere to grow.
Powers.
Or
in all fairness, they really should have nerfed Captain Marvel, but they didn't.
Yeah. Which we're getting into that. Not nerfed.
Are we?
Now I will let you continue.
Now that we've got So anyway, The Marvels has begun production. Nia Costa's film, the sequel to Captain Marvel, has started. So one of the things that we have known about this for sure is that, or I don't know if we did or didn't know this, but Nick Fury is going to be back.
Makes sense.
So yeah, he said some stuff and some things, so he's going to be back. Nick Fury's going to be back. I'm curious if he's going to be a de-aged Nick Fury or if they're going to move forward in time. It'll probably be both.
I think maybe they'll do
flashbacks. Otherwise, I think they can just do Captain America and set it all modern day, especially if they're adding what's her Monica Rambeau and Ms. Marvel. Yeah. Like going back would be like going back to a time without them. But.
Yeah. So yeah, Brie Larson has confirmed that they're filming right now, and here's what she had to say about the film. Talking about the sets, they're unlike anything else. Huge sets, huge amounts of people on set, lots of specialists. It's a really unique experience. I'm a huge fan of Disneyland, so to me, it feels like I get to go to my own private Disneyland every single day because they're building all of these insane worlds that no one else knows about. No one else gets to see. You'll see it when the movie comes out, but for now, it's just mine. I'm in the sets.
You think I'm flexing?
Oh,
yeah. I mean, just like you, I'm sure it'll be disappointing when she flexes because I didn't like.
Oh,
never mind. The sets, they're bigger than you can imagine. Right now, it's just really special. So yeah, that's her talking about that, and we'll see what happens. Yeah,
maybe. Of course, we don't know. Secret Invasion could start shooting anytime, or even could be shooting. Right? They have like 7 cast members in it at this point.
Yeah.
But I wonder if they'll even. I bet Secret Invasion will follow quickly after the Marvels, if not the other way around. Yeah, it sounds like based on what we're hearing now, I think it'll happen right after the Marvels. Maybe they'll even shoot some of it together, which would be cool. You know, it's good Nick Fury and Sam Jackson, the one shoot where you can be part of Marvels, and that feeds into his show.
We'll find out.
Mendelsohn could possibly be back, depending on what, and also in Captain the Marvels.
Yeah, I would be surprised if they didn't bring him back.
Yeah.
For one or both.
I would assume he'd be. Well, he's definitely coming back to Secret Invasion. That has been called a Nick Fury, Ben Mendel, whatever the fuck his Squirrel's name. I'm forgetting it. Buddy Cop series. Yeah. So I would assume he'd be in Captain the Marvels also, just because the girl who probably told Monica Rambeau to go up there is probably someone that he knows already. So
yeah.
Are you saying they all know each other?
That little group does.
You're saying he's a Skrull racist?
Yes.
Saying he's part of a clan that we saw.
Are you a Kree? Are you a Kree, Nick?
No.
We'll have to find out whether or not Nick is a Skrullcist November of next year. So the Marvels is currently set to debut 11 November 2022. We'll find out if the anti-vaxxers will let us see it.
Please.
We'll find out.
Go stick a needle in your arm.
No, don't just
Did you hear
that. Go to a doctor. Stick a needle.
Oh, okay, go to a place and get them to stick a needle in your arm, please.
Wait, so to take it off of to take it off of the fun things for a second, did you guys see that there was a nurse in Germany?
Yes, I was about to say that too. The fucking German doctor who's injecting people with saline.
What?
Yeah.
8,200, like 8,000 people.
She should be shot.
I knew you were going to make me regret that. God damn it, Nick. Anyway.
She's like
That's
a reverse
crime.
Nazi.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
A reverse Nazi scientist. I mean,
I
not
just
a
saw in the
scientist at
news
all.
yesterday. They didn't say what grocery store it was, but some lady was, there's a video of it too. Some lady was licking food at the grocery store. In the King Supers in like the Denver metro area. So I'm like, I hope I didn't go shopping there.
You don't?
Only to get a good taste for it. She was doing
Yeah,
stuff
how do
she
you
was
know
putting
if
back.
How do you know if the fruit is
exactly.
pick up an apple, you're like, do I want to buy this apple? You have to lick it.
I was thinking about watermelons. Their flavors obviously. On the show.
Are you ready for another
that's
flex?
different. That's different because the watermelons are inside. You have to like cut that open to get that. But apples, you gotta lick it.
Another flex here. You ready? I only go to Sprouts. Oh,
it's not a flex. That's a
it's not
sad little millennial.
Yeah, no, but it's also because the Ralph's next door to me or King Supers is the worst.
I don't know
what you're talking about. Let's go there after this.
Nope. So confused.
King Supers, it's a grocery store. Or Ralph's.
Sounds like a character from Smash Brothers.
Or Safeway or Kroger or
Safeway isn't Kroger.
Are we talking about Super Smash again?
Yeah.
Yes.
Super Kroger.
These all sound like characters. Yeah. King Ralph, Super Smash. I don't know. Anyway.
King Ralph.
Yeah. New challenger appears. You guys ready to talk about some what if?
Yes.
All right.
All this to make one super soldier.
Steve!
That's the moment.
It has to be now.
That created a whole new hero.
Oh!
This Wednesday, the secrets of the multiverse will be revealed.
Oh, I'm counting on it.
Ponder the question. What if?
Go ahead. I can't interfere.
Oh, look at that. You're the watcher.
Oh, I'm the watcher.
I'm the watcher. I can watch, but I cannot interfere. I don't know the words, but
he's totally gonna. Is he gonna interfere? That's the first question.
Comics,
he's gonna interfere, right?
He does so all the time in the comics.
I mean, he's totally gonna interfere in this. He has to.
I think we'll see a live action sooner than we think.
We have seen a live action version of the Watchers.
Well, not
Guardians too.
Him. He has a certain name. We didn't know confirmation he was in.
But I mean the Watcher race.
Yeah, but he's a guy that we haven't seen yet. That you just said we'd seen before.
We haven't seen a specific Watcher that we know of.
Pale ass white Watchers.
Wow.
True. He could be pale ass white.
No, because they've already released a picture of how he's drawn. He's not.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah.
How's he drawn?
He's black.
Are there? I've never even seen. So maybe I just don't know enough about Watcher.
There's just some poster.
I've only ever seen the same Watcher.
Okay. Most of the images use the image on the show that we saw, where he's like just hanging out.
I am the Watcher. I watch things.
Okay.
We should probably talk about the show.
We should talk about the show. So I'm going to lead into this by giving a little taste and flavor of Cam Clark from LRM. His review was lukewarm. He said that a mixed bag of results was his review of What If Peggy Carter was the first Avenger. I'm curious, and we could just jump into the show like likes, dislikes. This is not, we're here to talk about the show. So if you would like to avoid spoilers, leave now. This is your spoiler one. This is the only one that you'll get. So, gentlemen, how did you all feel about the inaugural episode of Marvel's What If?
I thought it was okay. On the plus side, I do think that I was really concerned about the animation. I thought it looked ugly, but I actually liked the show mostly in action. There are some shots where there's a bit of stiffness, and I think that was the main thing I was concerned about. And while it does have that every now and then, I do think they were able to stylize it in a way that I thought mostly worked. I really liked the explosions. The explosions looked really good. And just sort of the dynamic way in which it was filmed, I thought was good. I like the idea overall, but I think the weakness is in its narrative, because it's almost trying to squeeze an entire movie into 25 to 30 minutes, and the result is just too fast pacing to where they just have to really hit you over the head with specific things rather than make them more subtle and nuanced, and it results in sort of ham-fisted, unelegant writing that feels kind of childish in spite of the fact that this is a TV 14 rated show. So that's my overall thought. It's just a little bit inelegant, but entertaining.
Yeah. Nick Dahl.
I liked it a lot. The animation, excuse me, is something I've worried about less than everyone else. Kyle even talked about. God damn.
This is what you get for letting Nick Dahl talk.
Right. But yeah, wait.
I'll tell you what. I'll jump in and you handle that. Let me jump in. So I thought that it was I think Jammer said what I wanted to say in a little bit more elegant way. Like, I love the fights. Watching her fight was really good. They were animated very well, and I think that the bomber group fight was probably the highlight of it for me, where she's jumping from plane to plane
and onto the Iron Man Steve whatever version. That was really
I thought
great.
that was great. And it reminded me of Ahsoka doing that in the Clone Wars, which is again a very similar scene and was done incredibly well. Where I think it hurts is kind of what Jammer said very specifically. For me, it's unless you've seen the first Captain America movie, you might get kind of lost. And this does a lot to rely on your knowledge of having seen it. And because they do condense it down into basically a Saturday morning Fox cartoon version of that movie. And I think that really hurts it. And I think that this could have done better as a 45-minute and where they didn't have to do all of that heavy lifting and using so much of it. And I also wish that it wasn't so familiar. And this is something that Cam alluded to that I agree to 100%. I think that it would have been more interesting if Steve had become the Winter Soldier. So the dynamic that you would get to see of the two of them in the future would be slightly different than the ones you could imagine. It was too predictable. And so it comes off as a cute supplement with really great action, but ultimately is kind of hollow because it is so close to the film.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I think you're right. But at the same time, I think it's worth asking, what were they trying to accomplish with this? Were they trying to do what you want, or were they just trying to have like a fun little, hey, what if? And I think if that's all they wanted to accomplish, I think they succeeded in kind of just going like, oh, that'd be interesting. I don't know if they're really trying to get sort of heavy and deep with it. If they were, I think they would have done what you said and made it go longer. You know, I think there would have been more stringent rules about what should be done. But I think they were kind of letting it be something that maybe just doesn't appeal to you or me, which is not necessarily a bad thing.
I like it the way it is. I think if it was 45 minutes long, it would have been too long. And I think absolutely the reason it's great is because it does rely on the first one. Because otherwise it doesn't matter. I mean, because it's all about, it's like Spider-Verse. It's always about subverting expectations. It's like, you know, the story of Peter Parker, he's bit by a spider. So
I was with you for a second.
I hadn't even gone to the point.
Oh, no. Like, when I want to interrupt, I will interrupt.
Peter Parker gets bit by a spider. So does Miles, but they play it out for like 3 minutes of tension where it's on his arm, it's on the floor. So it's just playing with, you know, he's going to get bitten by it. But it's about, there's an entire song length of it crawling on him, and it falls off and it gets back on him and stuff before it actually happens. So the audience is like, oh shit, the spider. Oh, no, not yet.
But that scene holds up.
But you're talking about one specific scene.
No, and I'm going to tie it to another specific scene.
But that scene holds up even if you don't know Spider-Man.
That's not the exact point. That's why I'm saying these two have to
be together.
I agree about that with Spider-Verse. But the point is, when you compare this one, you're like, I thought for sure that Bucky was going to fall off on every timeline. And then you have a cute line like where she picks him up and it's like, oh, you almost ripped my arm off. As a Marvel fan, you're like, that's all the show is there for, is fan service. The show is fan service, and I like it.
And I'm saying that I think that that's a weakness. That's my point, is that I think that that's a weakness.
I think obviously some of them will be way more off base than this one. This one seems like one of the simpler changes to make rather than turning half the universe to zombies. I don't think that could be a parody.
That's kind of what I'm hoping. I am hoping that this is a soft, like this is like the least changed version.
The other will be one of the other least changed ones.
For the purpose of ushering us into this world. Like, it's the least changed one.
It's the gateway drug.
I feel like of the ones we know about T'Challa being Star-Lord one, it's probably one of the least changed ones too. It's only changing one character.
We don't
the
know
rest of
that.
the world exists around. Yeah, true.
No,
but
it seems like it. Well, we'll find out next week, but it
one of
does
the
seem
things
like
Kyle and I actually liked about it is it's kind of giving our Marvel brains a break. We don't make every goddamn connection on our show where it's like, ooh, that could be this or that, and we're just able. This is kind of a chance to just take a Marvel break and enjoy Marvel without having like make up.
That's a weird problem, though.
No, it's a nice fun break, yeah.
So no need to speculate because the possibilities are endless. So it's just like, and they're one-off.
And
so
it's not canon until he says it's canon.
I'm fairly certain they're going to try and bring in a bunch of these. If not,
I've heard rumors of some things, but I don't know if they're true or not. But I will say one of my biggest disappointments, which is something they'll probably fix next season, but I don't know if it works every few years apart or not, is that after watching the first one, I'm like, damn, I want to see what the Avengers feels like. Like, do Avengers next with Peggy Carter. Like, keep the Peggy Carter story going.
That's actually the question I was thinking too, because I was wondering.
Doing one of hers the seasons. What they're talking about.
It almost felt like this could have essentially been an entire universe in itself, and they could have followed that trail.
Exists 100 years before it exists in our universe.
Right. They could have followed that
Loki
trail.
Doesn't come through that hole.
But instead, that's not what's happening. Instead, it's actually going to be one off for each one, and each one is kind of has its own little universe. So, it's just a big question of what does that mean. Like, I don't know.
It'll be interesting if that's not actually true.
They've said what the next 2 episodes are.
Yeah, but we don't know how they connect or if they do or don't connect to.
I assume
if they're not in the
all
same
different
universe.
branches where each time he's going to be like, this was the moment. That's my assumption.
We don't know. And so I think that is the thing.
Winter Soldier's in. We know for sure he's in the zombie episode, but Winter Soldier didn't get turned into Winter Soldier.
Sure.
But
here's what I think is the thing that makes it interesting. You have a character that has perspective on all of these worlds. And so I think one of the things that they've kind of set up for us is like, I can't interfere. He's going to say at the beginning of every episode. And so there is a character who knows of the existence of all of these people. And so that might be what this is building to, where he's like, you know what? I do have to do a thing. And that's where all of these characters come from. And that's how they all exist. Otherwise, there's no point. Otherwise, there's no point to bringing Peggy Carter into the current timeline.
Yeah. No, I think they said they'd do a Peggy Carter episode every season.
Yeah.
So it'd be like,
no,
it'd be cool.
I'm saying regardless of that, I'm saying that every episode of the show that you see where you see a different what if, the watcher that is telling us the story might just reach in and go like, hey, listen, I need all of you guys to do a thing. You're the Revengers.
Like the
and then the TVA comes in.
Yeah.
TVA comes in. They start pruning everybody. I know that, but we don't. But are they? Are they not? I don't know. It's like that's the thing. It's the TVA. They exist outside of time. So are they not there yet, or have they been the whole time?
And I don't even know that is entirely true, right? So the people in the TVA are the ones telling you that they exist outside of time, but they are unreliable narratives because they don't know shit about themselves. They think that they were created. So I think that all of that stuff gives you incredible leeway to basically do whatever you want, which is probably their entire point.
So what did you like about it, Jonesy?
I said already, I like the fight scenes. I thought it was fun. It rang hollow mostly because it's a supplemental to the first movie. I wanted more changes than what they gave me to make it percolate, because I feel like what ifs have to be something. The things that change should be more interesting than that for me to care about a what if. And the things that resulted in it were just okay. But I love the fight scenes.
Yeah.
I actually forgot there is a connection to Agent Carter. Bradley Whitford's character is from Agent Carter.
Yeah.
And
is he the douchebag who just like girls shouldn't be blah, blah,
replaces
blah. Okay.
Yeah, replaces they killed off Tommy Lee Jones' character very visibly on the screen before they had to have a line of someone impersonating Tommy.
Wait, they killed him off? Wait, did they come off?
He's killed in the explosion. You can
shot.
recognize which one's Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even notice that.
So I was like, are they gonna hire someone doing it? Like the only character that's missing is him, and I went back like, oh yeah, he died.
Yeah.
It's weird that they didn't feel like they could just replace him, Tommy Lee Jones.
He definitely wouldn't do it again. And
I mean, he did replace a few people.
They replaced, fucking Tony Stark very clearly, not Robert Downey Jr.
Right.
This guy did a
which
pretty
really,
good Steve Rogers,
which really bothers me. Yeah, Steve Rogers is pretty good, but the freaking Tony Stark bothers the fuck out of me because he doesn't even carry a similar inflection to the way Tony Stark does. Like, at the beginning of Iron Man, where he's like, "Love peace, be out of the job with peace," and then like doesn't kind of feel it. But this one is like, "Love peace, be out of the job with peace," and I'm like, "Calm down, dude, chill."
I mean, it's weird if you're gonna make them say the exact same line.
I don't even know if it's the same lines. That's the thing, is I think it's slightly different, and I'm like, you couldn't even do the same lines.
No. I'm saying. So what you said, yeah, that is a line from the first Iron Man. I'm saying you notice it even more if it's a different person saying the same lines in your head.
Right.
Like, you already know how that should sound. So
yeah.
Which is, so it's weird. I sound like I'm very down on this. I do want to see what happens next. I want to see if it builds towards something.
It's good enough to keep going, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. It is by no means bad. I just walked away kind of like, meh, that was cool. Good fight scenes.
Yeah. That's why I would give it.
Are we doing this for rating it? Gotta rate it.
I'm thinking about
rating this episode since
I give it a C+, a little above average,
Nick?
Or a 6 out of 10.
This is definitely, part of it is animation and part of it's stuff we talked about. It's definitely my least favorite of the Marvel shows after a first episode so far.
Really?
Oh yeah, after the excellent 3 live action shows they gave us, absolutely. But those will all be A's, the shows themselves. This episode's probably B-.
I definitely like this better than the first episode of WandaVision.
True, but like I felt you felt like you were actually, I don't know. Like you said, this could all tie into one thing. I'm expecting a lot of independent, like Saturday morning cartoons adventures. With WandaVision, you knew it was building into some kind of dark place.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it's going to, and so that's going to be my optimism. I'm going to give it a B-.
We got it at the same grade.
We're pretty close. We got a pretty similar spread. Yeah, a pretty close spread with all of our ratings. It's funny because you look surprised when I said C+. You're like, I'm like, that's like literally.
And then when I went to name mine,
you are. Who, me?
Oh, it's only one. No, I made that face when he said.
Oh.
And then I just
said
was
C+.
Like, B-. I guess he's right.
Yeah.
There's so little between that.
I think for me, it really was the action that drove this home for me, because while everything else was very samey, watching her fight, and again, that standout bomber group fight was really, really good.
It was cool.
The animation was very polished there. And it was spot on, at least for me. So
yeah, and I think part of it was really cool about the animation is obviously they could never make a live action show like this for the same budget, obviously.
Yeah.
It basically costs another Captain America, if not more these days. But being able to do all these cool moves that they want to do in the movies, but have been too expensive, especially in First Avenger. Whereas First Avenger was figuring out like how does he move and fight and stuff. And this is after like 11 years of Captain America. It's like, okay, so this is how the way the shield is used now is how we're able to portray it in this one, because we've already had the evolution in live action. And she can also do impossible to film shit.
Yeah, definitely. Anything else? Anything else you guys have to say about this show?
I hope it starts to connect things. That'd be cool. But if it doesn't, final one-offs are okay.
And
I'll probably still watch it.
I agree that this is probably one of the least interesting concepts, even though I love the character. And I love
like you said, it's a clean
closest,
segue.
Yeah. It'll be nice to see one of really fucking weird.
Are they doing the Avengers movies in these? Do we know?
So I think there is one where the Guardians either are the Avengers or something like that. There is a shot of the Guardians where it does the Avengers.
Oh, really?
Shot, yeah.
And people think there's a rumor that the zombie episode happens because, again, this is just people speculating, but it's the same. I think it's the episode where everyone's dressed in their Infinity War clothing.
Oh. Okay.
So they think it's that as he snapped, he got hit in the head with the hammer and maybe half killed everybody or something. That's a theory. I don't know, because they think it's the same episode that everyone's literally in that episode. Black Widow has the blonde hair and
here's why I'm going to say no to that. There was a story that came out that said that the Spider-Man what if that they pitched was too dark, and it was the idea that it was body horror and actually turning into a spider. And so if that was too dark, a concept that they did for a 90s Saturday morning cartoon on the Spider-Man cartoon way back then, there's no fucking way they're going to do brain damage Thanos.
There's not brain damage.
He'll be dead. It's just it happens like,
he got hit.
Yeah.
They would do that.
I don't know.
No,
I mean, they can explain it in a number of ways.
It's not brain damage. No, it's like, imagine you're trying to drive while sneezing. It's like the sneeze can ruin the snap. Like if he sneezed and did it, it's the same concept.
Okay,
He's
so
thrown off
brain
his
damage.
concentration.
Or
I don't know if that actually even
No,
happens.
not brain damage. My point is like if he's gonna snap it, like he's basically like, I want people to disappear, and like he sneezed and it conflated disappear with death and had made it half dead. And it was just the thing. Like when Harry Potter said Diagon Alley instead of Diagon Alley and ended up in Nocturne Alley.
Wait, so how did that occur?
Potter.
So you're saying that the hammer causes some sort of palsy? Yeah.
No. Why are you so stuck on this?
Because that's the way Nick is
snapping.
Yeah, that's what Nick is describing.
It ruins his concentration, and so it ruins the fucking wish.
I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
I don't think that will be actually what happens, but I liked when people are pointing out. Actually, I think some people are saying maybe that's what if the Avengers didn't break up, because it has Tony Stark standing next to Black Widow with the blonde hair, standing next to Steve with the beard. So maybe that's
if they didn't break up, then why?
Why does he have the beard?
That's a whole different episode then.
And why does she have blonde hair?
Yeah. Maybe she was just feeling it.
Maybe they got back together.
Just like, I'm ready to be blonde, and he's like, I'm ready to grow out my beard, and then they did it anyway.
You did it anyway.
Good points, though. We'll see. We'll see what if.
We will see what if.
I'm here to tell you, what if I cannot interfere? I don't know why he sounds like that.
It was a really weird moment that he pointed out that was the difference, because it didn't actually fit what was happening on screen.
Where she chose to stay in the room versus go into the booth. Because
also, I mean, it's weird. Someone just pointing out other changes that happened before even that moment, but it's like, give them the benefit.
It's like her staying there wouldn't have actually changed anything because that guy wasn't there in the original
She saw the
movie.
Bomb before the. Well, that's the thing. No,
but he was about to like
in the
do
movie.
shit.
Everyone was in the booth.
Exactly. Makes no sense. Fuck you, Watcher. You're wrong.
That's why I thought it was a weird moment to pick.
So maybe it's the idea that everyone followed her.
I don't know, it would work. And then obviously what changed is that she saw
that would be the rationale,
not after the transformation.
The rationale would be like everyone
So
followed
literally
her into the booth
no one would have gone into the booth if she hadn't have gone in first.
You're overthinking it. What if people
I'm overthinking it. You're the one who literally just pointed out it didn't match up for some reason and started digging into why it didn't match up. And now you're telling me I'm overthinking it.
Because Jonesy gave you an explanation already. He said that what if they all followed her lead? And that's a good what if.
What if they didn't? What if she went and no one else did? Another what if.
A whole different branch of reality that started.
Which probably does exist.
Moment.
Hydra
Tommy
takes
Lee
over
Jones
the
decided
world.
not to show up to work that week.
I did love that moment where they're arguing about who's going to get into the regeneration chamber.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm not getting in there. I just push the buttons.
The buttons jokes were actually really funny.
And I just love also like if that douchebag colonel was like he didn't want her to get in, fucking you jump in there.
No, he's a coward. That's the whole point. He's a coward.
That's all I have.
Anyway, that's it. Can we shut it down?
That's it's todo.
Cut the check.
Cut the check. It's funny. We should do who watches while we do the what if. But
I thought that in bed last night. Who watches the Watchers?
It's that if only he could watch me.
I was just laying in bed.
I just had the most horrific thought. I'm just like thinking of Nick in bed, like thinking about the show, like, oh yeah.
And then you see the Watcher with his glowing eyes. I cannot interfere.
Cannot interfere.
I said not on Tuesdays.
So that's it, folks. If you like what you hear, do all the socials, like, rate, comment, subscribe, share. We would definitely appreciate it. Also, LRM has other great content on the website for you to peruse, listen to, what have you. Jammer, where can you be found?
You can find me on Twitter at JamTheWriter and all of my books under the name of AJ Stern on Amazon and Audible. And you could also check out on Wattpad my serialized story, City of Mages.
Ooh.
That has, I think, 4 chapters or 3 chapters out now. I forget. I think 3, maybe 4. We'll find out. Or at 11, except not at all. That's it. That's all the information you have. Look it up.
That's it.
Wattpad.
That's it.
It's called City of Mages. Do it.
Do it. Nick Dahl, where can you be found?
I'm at Nick Dahl on Twitter, and I also do Marvel Multiverse Mayhem with Kyle, where we'll be discussing what if everything. Whereas here, I think we're doing Free Guy next week, unless these chuckleheads change their minds. So
Free Guy sounds good.
That.
Might happen. I change my mind frequently. It's my prerogative.
True.
Free Nelson Mandela.
What? Anyway,
Nice.
Free Guy.
Anyway,
free that guy.
check
free
out
Nelson Mandela.
check out the Discord. Let us know what you think of What If or any of the stories that you heard today. It'd be a good time. Other than that, You can find me at Sir Jonesy on Twitter and Instagram and contributing to the website. We will catch you on the next one. Hasta lasagna.
Don't get any on you.
Mission accomplished.